So here we have a phase one of what we've got going on here. There's a barn behind me. It's got bags and bags of compost that haven't gone anywhere yet. They've been sitting there for a while. They're gonna go here in our raised beds. Made out of cedar. We've got 4x7, I think 26 of them. You can see the landscape tarp we've got down here. We've got two main problems we've been having to deal with so far. One of them, you can see on top of this tarp right here, is just rain. It's April now, and since December it's just been constantly raining. It's been tough to get out here, really do anything else. The second thing we got is underneath it. Let me see if I can pull up a corner. We've got, well, this is something that was tarped earlier. We've got this grass, is this bahia grass, which is a rhizome. It's really hard to get over with, so we've been doing whatever we can to try to get rid of it. That's not really working, but it will. We got to keep it covered, and that's most of what the tarping and the landscape fabric, which we're going to put down right after it. If it ever stops raining, we're going to get some compost down on top of the field out here, start building rows and plots, start building our beds so we can plant the seeds that we've got going in there. And eventually, hey Moon, hey buddy. Eventually we're gonna have a fence around here, wildlife protection, things like that, but that's all accounting for the fact that maybe it won't ever stop raining. So we're filling raised beds right now. We have to do a top layer or a bottom layer of field dirt to try to get it done, but we're taking this pile here that's been sitting there for a while.
Are you recording?
Putting in that. Yeah, we're recording.
Okay.
Hi. That's Connor.
Okay.
He's the real muscle. We're putting in the wheelbarrow there into that doohickey, into those doohickeys. And as always, this is what we're doing today. Right on top of this field dirt we've got. This is from Hutto's. It's a topsoil. I think they call it Delta topsoil. What we're doing is we're these bags right on top here, cutting them and then dumping them all out. Trying to get at least some more layers up there before we put the compost on there. And we'll be ready to plant. So we're making some progress here. Got the tarps pulled up. We've got our rows built on this first plot, which is on the northwest edge. We've broad forked it. We've thrown our layer of compost on there, which this first part we did with a wheelbarrow, which was not very fun, but so there's plot 2 right here. It is somewhat abbreviated because we've got piles of compost. Decker dirt is what it is. Right in the middle of our plot though. So now I'm moving on to little more technologically fancy measures. Instead of the wheelbarrow, we've got this electric Ranger that I'm piling up in the trunk right there, and then dumping it. I don't know if you can see way over. No, you can't quite see it, but it's over there. We're putting piles on the end of each row, and then I'm just gonna get a bucket and put the compost on that way. You see over here, oh, I can't zoom it, can I? Over there you've got Steve Dixon on the BCS. He's like Jimi Hendrix with the ukulele over there, plotting that last plowing the last plot. But progress is being made. It's slow. It's very slow. But maybe one day things will go on the ground. Come on, man, Jack, driving me around now. This is the ticket. Say hey, Jack.
Hello.
Jack's my nephew. He's not paid labor. Right? Okay, good. Got that?
I am not a neighbor driver.
Beautiful legends. Yeah, they really are. Doing more.
Big old
They
plants.
must have been getting okay sunlight wherever they were.
So it's been about 2 weeks, 3 weeks of us living full-time here past our movie jacks. We've got a lot done. We've got our raised beds here filled with dirt and compost, and for the most part planted. This is the one we were filling up earlier on in the video. We've got flowers, got tomatoes coming in, basil down there. What do you think about that? It's looking good. It's been a whole lot of work, but definitely rewarding work to see things start coming up, beginning to bloom. We even had a radish the other day, which is pretty nice. Over here we've got our permanent beds that we've done. In this kind of northwest corner, we've got our tomatoes all staked and Florida weaved, Florida woven. This we've got, so we're doing it somewhat of an experiment. We've got our irrigation tape down. You can see those kind of strips coming out, but we've got this plastic mulch on top of it. It's a decision we're not too excited about, but we wanted to do an experiment, and I mentioned earlier the Bahia grass, I'm not sure how you say it, but it's this deep rhizomal structure, and here's, if you can see those things right there. Hey, boo. They're pretty dense underneath, and they're just gonna keep growing back every week or so, and they're gonna stay that way for a couple of years. So we needed somehow to control that weed pressure without just constantly coming in and ripping them out, only for them to come right back. So we're trying out this plastic tarp on this part of the field on these first 3 beds. That one over there is completely not planted. But over here, we've got in this kind of middle row, you see our watermelons there. We're gonna experiment with, we still have the irrigation tape, we're gonna experiment with partially covering some of those with plastic mulch, but also getting some wood chips and hay and trying to do a little more natural method with that, just to see in the long term which one works. So this is what the beds look like with mulch. They're ran the power harrow over them, and then this one right next to Isla here has got our plastic irrigation strips. The other one's got to do that later on this week. We've got pretty much a whole bed right there full of watermelons and cantaloupe, and the one beyond that one too. Hopefully that grows. You see some little baseball or softball sized watermelons coming through, which is kind of cool. We've got a couple over here. The okra, peas, green beans, other beans, northern beans, and then finally in the southeast corner way over there, we've got our corn coming through, poking up. I weeded that just yesterday. And here on this southwest side, we were tarping in preparation for a greenhouse and a high tunnel that we ordered. That should be getting in here in the coming months, or even weeks maybe. The rains held off for the most part. It let us really just put our heads down and start working and get a lot done. I think more is coming this week, which is fine. It definitely needs it. We're kind of oscillating back and forth between heavy wet and then heavy dry. It would be nice to have a little bit of a medium between the two, but I'm not gonna complain. But there it is. Here it is, our first month or so here. It's exciting. Let me know if you got questions. We're a Lolly Farm. We'll have more posted soon. That's Isla. Say hey, Isla. Wait, who's that there, huh?